everyone, Nashia Johnson here with HD Christian Family Counseling, coming to you today to talk about mental health. I know that word brings up all types of things, but today specifically we're going to talk about the awareness and the importance of understanding those people around us who struggle with mental health issues and disorders. So we're going to talk about stigma, and stigma basically has a lot of negative connotations. It's our negative beliefs about what it means to be diagnosed or suffer with a mental health diagnosis such as anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. I want to make this as uncomplicated as possible. So I'm going to start this way. Lots of people in the world right now struggle with all types of physical disorders, and we are all completely understanding of that. If you turn around and somebody says, oh, I have diabetes, or I have liver disease, or I have MS, or lupus, or I have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, I have Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, these diagnoses don't in and of themselves garner any type of stigma or any type of negative connotation. If somebody walks up to you and says, oh, yeah, I'm diagnosed with Crohn's disease, these are things that we recognize as chronic. They're ongoing. These people will need medication and treatment and support, and they may struggle on certain days, and we completely accept that. And we say, oh, okay, let me try to make some accommodations for you, but for some reason, when we hear the words mental illness, and, I don't like the term illness. I mean, it is a disease, but it makes it sound like something from a scary movie, but when we find out someone has something like, say, major depression or bipolar disorder, which back in the day was manic depressive, or they have schizophrenia, such derogatory and negative connotations come to our mind. And I know this is fueled by images that we've seen in the media, images we've seen in movies, things that we've seen on the internet. The news, tends to primarily capture people who struggle with mental health illnesses when they are at their worst or so far gone into the disorder that they're not making sense. But in reality, the majority of people who struggle with mental health issues are just like you and I. They are no different. We are under this belief that people with mental health disorders must look different. They must sound different. They must have a crazy appearance to them. When in truth, no. No, not really. I mean, some people do struggle on the more severe scale of a disorder, but that's no different than someone struggling on the severe scale of cancer or someone struggling on the severe scale of kidney disease. You're going to see more dysfunction and more disability the more severe their diagnosis and the stage of their disorder. I want us to start thinking about mental health differently. The truth is, in the United States, 1 in 5 people struggle with mental health issues, whether diagnosed or not. This is important, because someone very close to you could be struggling right now and you have absolutely no idea. And because we tend to kind of jump to things like, oh, they're crazy, or get over it, we tend to push them away from sharing this vulnerable, important part of their lives. And so therefore we can't be supportive and helpful to them. And then we don't get the closeness that we would like from them. I really want you to think about it this way. If I told you that I had sclerosis, you would understand that there was a problem with my liver and that it wasn't functioning properly. If I needed dialysis, you would know, oh, there's something majorly wrong with her kidneys. She has to be on medication. She has to see a doctor. She has to be in rehab for functioning and all of these different types of things. And you would support me in that process. Mental health disorders are brain disorders. Brains are organs, just like your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your lungs. It's an organ. Mental health disorders in and of themselves are biological. So if your liver can stop functioning, if your heart can collapse and your lungs can stop working and you'll need medication for the rest of your life to monitor it, tell me what's different about your brain. Tell me why we have a struggle understanding why our brain might begin to malfunction, why it would begin to not act the way that it's designed to act, if we can believe that a heart or a lung or a kidney can do that. There has to be some discussion about where this stigma, where this belief system is coming from. And in order for us to come together, to help each other, to be there for one another, there has to be some greater understanding about what mental health disorders actually are. Now, that's not to say that there aren't other causes coming into play with mental health disorders. You know, things like trauma and car accidents and being assaulted, a traumatic brain injury. These are all things that can kind of come into play, you know, but every function of your emotions and your thoughts starts in your mind. It's not something you can erase because your brain is made up of all of these chemicals that control things. And when those chemicals get misbalanced, when they start to do their own thing, you are going to start to see people have emotional outbursts and depression and anxiety and possibly delusions and hallucinations and voices and things like that. It's not something to be afraid of any more than you're afraid of a person with diabetes, any more than you're afraid of a person with kidney disease. It's about making sure that just like with those people, we connect them to the right doctors, we connect them to the right therapists, we connect them to treatment centers, and we understand that there is no one way of dealing with this. But you wouldn't send somebody home who has kidney failure or asthma and say, now, if you just think better, if you just pray more, if you just get out there and you're more positive, your symptoms will go away. You can't do that with a brain disorder either. I don't want you to feel like you have to be the one to change everybody's mind. But if you can begin to work on yourself, it can go a very long way to making a big difference into those coworkers, those friends, those family members, your spouse, your kids who need that support and that love from you. If you want to get more information on facts and recognizing symptoms, I encourage you to check out NAMI.org. That's NAMI.org. That's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. They are an amazing organization. They have loads of resources for families and those believing that they're struggling with mental health. They actually even have a helpline that you can call and get some of your questions answered and learn about treatment options. That phone number is 800-950-6264. You can email them at info@nami.org. You can text them NAMI to 741-741, and they will help you and direct you to services in times of crisis. I can't speak long enough about why this is important, and I really hope that this opens up a dialogue with you and someone that you know or believe could be struggling. Take some time, learn more about the disorders, and ask questions, do some research the same way you get on Google about everything else. Get on Google about this, find out about how I can be a better support to those people around me. I pray that you have a wonderful day, that you are blessed, that you are safe, that your families experience joy, and I will talk to you soon.